Hello, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Let's see, today's Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. Today we're going to talk, what are we talking about today? Yeah, yesterday was weird. Facebook was down for 12 hours or whatever it was. So that was kind of nuts. I was trying to go live and things weren't working. Anyways, we're going to talk about knee stuff today. It's actually perfect timing because the email that I'm going to talk about today, I've had further correspondence with the person. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, here we go. The title is How to Just Get Knee Swelling Down. And this question comes from Michelle. I had my right knee replaced 2 years ago. On Labor Day, I noticed my knee didn't feel right. It felt like it was swollen. My knee has fluid in the knee, and I've been elevating and icing it and wrapping it up with an ace wrap. Still is swollen. I'm going to my orthopedic surgeon to have him look at it. I just want the swelling to go down. What should I do? I went to physical therapy. The therapist massaged the knee and is having me do some exercises for my knee. Thanks. Well, this is so interesting, and it's so absolutely typical of so many people that continue to suffer with knee pain because they have it's like shutting the barn door after the horse runs out of it. And it's this very short-sighted mentality that leaves them in this pattern of continuing to have the same problem. I find it very indicative of someone who has had a knee replacement surgery because they're already in that mentality that it's like, well, if I just get the bones in my leg sawed off and replaced with plastic and metal, then everything's going to be okay. However, anyhow, there's a continuation to this email, and this is Michelle. So here's how it went. So I already wrote you the swelling on Labor Day. Didn't know what to do. Physical therapist massaging a knee, having me do some exercises for my knee. What should I do? So I replied, I'd be happy to help you out with your knee situation. It sounds like having your orthopedic surgeon look at your knee is the best next step. When is your appointment? And they replied, I had my appointment with the orthopedic surgeon. He took x-rays of my knee and he said everything looks great. He prescribed me Celebrex for inflammation and a cream to rub in my leg and knee for pain. I have fluid in my knee. He thinks I overdid it when I went walking 4 miles in September. Thanks. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, Michelle has no indication that she's going to do anything different than what she's already done, which has gotten her the arthritis, the bone on bone, the knee replacement surgery, and now she's looking for help on the internet as to do, my thinking is she wants to do something different. Not the case. She said, I replied, it sounds like a short-term strategy for your situation right now. What happens the next time you overdo it? Like, it's a legit question. We overdo our knees or our body all the time. And if you don't have the tools, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the understanding of what to do different next time, then it's going to happen again. People who ignore the past are condemned to repeat it. I said, it sounds like it's a short-term strategy for your situation right now. What happens the next time you overdo it? Another trip to the doctor and more prescriptions. That was the question I had. She indicates, I'm just going to elevate it and ice it next time. Okay, well, great. So you only want help when there's a crisis. You only are going to go to the doctor when there's something wrong. She still has swelling in the knee. She still has problems. She's going to ice it and elevate it, but it's not addressing the conditions that are creating the knee to begin with. Not changing the neurological signaling that's going on in the knee that's causing the pain. And this is what happens many times over and over again, and people find themselves on the hamster wheel. They're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity, which is cool. Hey, if that's how you roll, if that's great, that's what you're choosing to do. More power to you. I wish you Godspeed. However, if you're only in that pattern because you don't know any different, I'm going to repeat that. If you only are repeating the pattern because you don't know any different, that you're wanting to find something different, then you and I have a lot to talk about. Because in order to get different results, you have to do something differently. You have to look at where in, let's see, the 4 miles, she overdid it. Michelle overdid it. Where in that 4 miles did you start having the issues? Did you have the issue before you even walked? We need to look at your water. How much water did you drink? Because sometimes that'll happen because you didn't drink enough water. Your body's not properly hydrated. What about your diet? What about your mindset? Did you have to walk the 4 miles? Did you choose to walk the 4 miles? Do you normally walk 4 miles? Do you normally go for walks? Or this is just something that you wanted to do because you wanted to be with your family or friends or loved ones? You have to look into that. We have to figure out how to break that big elephant down into tiny bite-sized chunks so you can start living your life again. And that's what happens. I mean, that's what I did. You know, it was like when I dislocated my left knee, there was no breaking it down into baby steps to begin to understand what was going on with my knee. It was like I either was not doing anything, resting, RICE therapy, rest, ice, compression, elevation. You're going to sit on your butt, raise the knee, ice it, and then get up off the couch and think that what you did is gone. The body doesn't work that way. You're a living, breathing human. It's constantly being, everything that happens to us every day, the stress we're under, our job, our family, our relationships, water, nutrition, breathing, all of that affects the tension in our body, which affects how the knee feels, how the body feels. We have to look at all those things. We have to understand those things. We have to begin to understand certain limitations that can present themselves as a result of all the pressures that we're under. Anyhow, thanks whoever gave the video a thumbs up. Like and subscribe to the Knee Pain Guru channel. Turn on notifications for future videos. If you have questions and you would like to ask, you can put those in the live chat or in the comment section. Even if you're watching the replay, put those in there because I see read all the comments, and I use those for future videos because it allows me to interact in a way, and I see where people are stuck. Like Michelle is going to be stuck. This is going to happen. I guarantee you, between now and the end of the year, she'll overdo her knee again, overdo it, and she'll be in pain again. And she'll just be waiting with ice on her knee on the couch with it raised, hoping that the pain's going to go away. Hoping is great, but anyhow, that's okay. I have some other ones that I want to touch on. Let's see. This was from Carol Loy. She commented on a bone-on-bone and Baker cyst on the back of the knee. This was, I believe, a week or so ago. She just replied, "Stop." Stop what? And that's one thing I find when we have pain, and especially when we have pain for an extended period of time, the ability to articulate ourselves in a way where we're heard and understood kind of goes out the window. So, being more descriptive, ask better questions, get better answers is going to be helpful in terms of getting the help that you want or a different result if what you're looking for, if that's what you're looking for. So there's that. And that is Carol. Another question here. Here's another one, knee replacement from Susan. I had a knee replacement 20 months ago. Still can't bend my knee backwards more than 100 degrees. Cannot walk up and down stairs normally. I have to go up and down them one at a time. Is this normal? Maybe that would be a question for your doctor. If you have, depending on the quality of the surgeon that you have, is going to have different results. A lot of times that's a function of tension in the hips and lower back. Your ability to bend your knee is directly related to how much tension you're holding in your hips and your lower back. So the more we can relax the tension in your hips and lower back, the more strength and flexibility will happen in the knee. So there is that. That's what I got. We got a few people here online, Facebook, YouTube. If you have questions about your knees, knee pain, just want to say hi, let me know where you're from. Type those in the comments section. I'll be happy to address those. Let's see. I'm kind of going through some questions here. For those that want to know like what you could do next, you can head on over to the kneepainguru.com website. I have a newsletter you can get on there. You can check that out. You can also, I also have links. This is all in the description box below. Let's see. I'm going to get this over to Carol or Susan, sorry. Go Susan. And got that. Yes, I offer, we can sit down for a consultation, set up a time, Zoom call or phone call, whatever works. And we can go over your situation and map out a strategy to get you out of pain. And that could be, working just with the conventional medical model. It could be an alternative approach. It could be an integration between the two. So I offer consultations like that. That's with the appointment link. And I also have a group coaching program called Knee Club that I work with clients online to help them get out of pain. And I get better results many times than those you can see in person. So you can check out Knee Club with that link there. Once again, it's all in the description box below. Okay. Let me see any other questions here. Question here from Marion. It says, can scar tissue be removed when excessive scar tissue is limiting my mobility? Removing scar tissue is not exactly what we're shooting for. It's like the scar tissue is the carrot that is distracting us from the real issue. We're looking for either pain or range of motion. If we boil down what's going on with the knee, it's either pain or range of motion. And when we really boil it down, it doesn't matter if the range of motion is inhibited by scar tissue or tension in your hip and back or muscle weakness, it's still a range of motion issue that we're dealing with. And is the range of motion being inhibited by the pain? So if we get the pain down, then we can begin dealing with the tension patterns that are limiting the range of motion, which may or may not be scar tissue. So if we label it scar tissue, we're limiting the outcome that we can get. And it's very important. We don't want to think that we need to remove scar tissue or we need to eliminate scar tissue, because what if it isn't scar tissue? What if the scar tissue isn't limiting the range of motion? Then you're putting all that time, energy, and effort into dealing with scar tissue, and it's not necessarily scar tissue, and you're still left with the same issue, pain or range of motion. So focusing on creating comfort in the knee and changing the neurological signaling allows the reference point in the joint to get full range of motion. And what do I mean by that? The reference point. Think of it like if you're trying to close your door. See a door? Wait a minute, the door right there. If I stuck a piece of paper in the door jamb, thick piece of paper, and I tried to close the door, what's going to happen is the door isn't going to close all the way. Does that mean there's scar tissue? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like we could change where the hinges are, but we still have that paper in the door. If we just remove the paper from the door is going to close on its own. So that's what we're looking at. We just need to understand what is, a lot of times it's the body's own tension that is preventing it from getting full range of motion. So we don't want to get caught up in labeling it as a scar tissue when it may not be the issue at hand. So, okay. That was another question. Okay, and there is Michelle. We talked about that, her situation earlier. Okay, that's all she wrote for today. No questions have come in. Let's see what I'm going to do. Once again, all of the information on next steps you can take is down below in the description of this video. That's how I can help you. And I got a video for you to check out before we wrap it up here. So, this is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru. Going to sign off for today. Type in your questions if you have anything between now and tomorrow, and we'll cover everything on tomorrow's video. So thank you so much for being here. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.